Hi, and welcome to the Getting Started video for MBA592, Organizational Behavior for Summer 2021. In this video, I'm going to give you an overview of how the course is going to work. So the first thing you should do is read over the announcements. And the first announcement is about getting started. And I have 5 things you should do in week 1 to get started. So I recommend reading the assigned chapters for the week, watching the corresponding video lectures, completing discussion board questions for the week, working on the homework management assignment and quizzes, and thinking about and start planning your topics for the 2 papers that we'll be doing this class. So now, continuing with announcements, we're going to be working with the homework manager. And the homework manager comes with an e-textbook for the course, so you don't have to buy a separate book. The instructions here for registering for the homework manager are pretty simple. This is the course ID that you should remember for the class. I do have a warning about using the unpaid temporary account. Now, when you sign up and you select a temporary account, Pearson will prevent me from seeing your progress, your account, or the fact that you registered. And many students have had trouble converting their temporary account into a full paid account, and in some occasions, they've had to start over from the beginning and lose all the work that they had completed. So I suggest not setting up or signing up for a temporary account for the class. Now, announcements contain 2 postings about 2 papers. The first paper is due on July 25th, the CEO profile paper, and I have the paper rubric and how I grade the paper. You may want to read that over. And then a reminder for the second paper that's due on August 8th of the Organizational Culture Profile Report. And I have the actual questions of that paper here. These are just announcements. And remember that when you do work on any papers for the class, you must make your citations correctly using a proper citation format, citating any quotes or any facts from other articles or papers, including websites. And there's a proper way to cite the website as well. Okay, so those are announcements. When you have time, look over them more closely. So the syllabus is going to give you an overview of the class. Again, it's going to repeat the Pearson ID code. It's going to talk about how this is an asynchronous course, the course description and objectives, our class time. The grades for the class is broken out between the 2 papers, which are 200 points each, the discussion board questions, which are 400 points, the homework manager quizzes, which are 700 points, and the homework management assignments, which are 500 points, for a total of 2,000 points. If you divide by 20, you can get to your grade scale and your letter scale. Okay, so when you have time, read over the syllabus, and then next up is the class lectures. So each chapter that we're going to be reviewing in this class, I have set up a class lecture under YouTube. So you click on this link, it'll bring you to the YouTube playlist. So the playlist will give you each of the chapters that I'm reviewing in this class, in addition to a couple additional bonus videos. So it's an easy place to find. Let's just move this back. So anytime you want to watch one of the lectures for the course, you just click this button and it'll port you right over to YouTube. I have the PowerPoints backed up for the class, which are the PowerPoints from the lectures. Now, the textbook and the homework manager, if you click here, it'll bring you over to the Pearson homework manager and textbook. You want to click on student and register. This is where you put in that course ID that I was talking about, and it will link you up to the class. And then you'll either have to create an account or sign up to an existing account to get to the homework manager. And let me show you what the homework manager looks like. Okay, so once again, if you want to get to the homework manager, click here, and then you can sign in when you have your registration set up, you can sign in. Once you're in the homework manager, if you click here, you'll have the e-textbook to read. If you click here, you'll have your assignments. So under assignments, you have 2 types of assignments. You have the regular blue homework, and then you have the orange squares, which are the quizzes for each chapter. So if you click on assignments, it'll list everything in order. Now the first assignment, which is gradable, is getting started. So this will explain how the homework manager works. And say for each chapter, we start up with chapter 12, and then we go to chapter 1. There'll be usually a warm-up exercise where you have a couple of multiple choice questions related from the reading in the chapter. And what's nice about the warm-up is if you get a question wrong, it tells you right away what was wrong and what's the correct answer. So as you're moving through the questions, you get feedback right away as to whether you got it correct or wrong. Let me leave this. So that's just a warm-up assignment. Now if you go back to assignments, they will have, sometimes you have a video assignment. You should go in and you watch a video. Just make this smaller. So there'll be a video to watch and then specific questions related to the video and the material in the chapter. If you don't read the chapter before you do this assignment, you most likely will get these questions wrong. So this is a leadership video. So there's a varying different types of assignments here. You might have a mini sim. So a mini sim is a little bit different than a video. It starts out with an actual simulation. Here you read over a scenario, and then you get to a point where you continue reading. It's sort of like a case study. And then as you get towards the end, you'll have some options and some questions about the decision of the simulation. And then at the end of each chapter, you have a quiz. So it's sort of like it's exactly like a test. So you take a test of 25 questions, and you don't get any feedback as to whether you're getting questions right or wrong until after the assignment has been completed. And then you just hit submit quiz when you're done answering all of the questions. So pretty simple. You just follow the due dates are on the left-hand side here, and they go throughout the course until you reach the very end of the course in Chapter 10. Now, all your results will be included in this result page. We could see your grade for the class and your results in all the assignments. Okay, let's move back to the Blackboard. So now let's go to how you complete the paper assignments. So the two papers in the class, you click on paper assignments. And I do have the discussion board here too. This is something I'll discuss later, but the discussion board is a gradable assignment, but you don't have to submit anything because everything's done through this link. So the first paper is the CEO profile paper, which is due on the 25th. And the questions are the 6 questions I want you to talk about related to a CEO leader that you pick and you profile. Now the second paper is going to be a culture paper based on a company. Now I do have a note here that the CEO profile and the organizational culture profile, they should be from different public companies. So you need to pick a public company, not a private company. So if you're working for a private company and you want to do your paper on the CEO of your company or the culture of your company, I don't want you to do that because I have no way of verifying the information. Public companies are a lot easier for me to identify and follow up with. So you have to pick public companies. Now the culture report is due later on August 8th, and it has its own separate questions. And information here about the length and the size of the papers. Once you're done with the paper, you just click on the link here, and then you can view the rubric of how I grade the paper, what I'm looking for, and how I'm going to grade it. And then you can click here, browse my computer, to attach your Word or PDF file, and then click Submit when you're done. And then I'll be able to grade it on my side. So those are the two paper questions. Now the discussion questions are the final part of the class. It's gradable. And these are, so each week we have one discussion question. So we have 6 questions in total. And what I'm looking for here, and I'm sure by now that you've had plenty of experience in discussion questions given all the online classes we had last year. So I'm looking for you to do is post original response to the questions and then post at least 3 replies to other students. So each post should be somewhere between 100 and 200 words. So here is this particular discussion question comes with a Pew research report that you can look over first, and then I include the questions here. I'd like you to post your original answers on Monday or Tuesday and replies to other students on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So this should be a total of, say, 4 posts altogether, because you're doing 1 original post and 3 replies to other students, and that's for week 1. So how you complete this post is when you're ready to answer the questions, click on the discussion board, create a forum or create a thread, put your name. You could say something like week 1 discussion question, something like that, and then right in the text box you can put in your questions and then put your answers directly below these questions. And then click submit, and then your thread will be there, which other students can read, and then they can click on your thread, read what you've written. I would like everyone to give an overall rating of the questions as you're reading them. These are anonymous, so don't worry, no one will know who posted how many stars, but it's good feedback for the original poster to know how well received their post is. And then you can just click reply if you want to reply to another student's post. Say you weren't John Doe with another student, you can reply and make some comments, add some additional information, make the discussion more valuable. And this is what we're trying to do here, is simulate a discussion in the classroom. Okay. So each week I will go in and I'll grade the discussion questions based on your frequency and the quality of your posts, and then I'll post the grade on Blackboard. So Blackboard will contain a grade book that will include both papers and discussion questions. And later on in the course, I will move over these grades into the homework manager. So you have all your grades together in the homework manager at the end of the course, so you get an overall idea what your grade will be by the end of the course. Okay. So that is the overview of MBA592. I think you'll find the class pretty easily to complete, and it's well organized. I think you'll have an easy time following what's required of you each week. I wish you the best of luck, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.